Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Monday Night Football, Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football post-game show. Well, the Seattle Seahawks beat the Minnesota Vikings 21-7 at Century Link Field in Seattle, Washington, and boy, this was not a close game. A close game like I thought it was going to be. It was a low-scoring game up until the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks just got on fire, and they scored they kicked the field goal and scored two touchdowns. And the Vikings did score one TD. It was a rough night for the Vikings all around, and well, and it just really just was not the Vikings. But the Seahawks, they just had a heck of a night, and it was just their night. They came alive tonight and just won this one. 21-7 at Century Link Field in Seattle, and Russell Wilson, you get the game ball, 10 of 20 yards, carries and attempts, 10 of 20, 72 yards, no touchdowns, and one interception. I think those touchdowns were on Viking interceptions or something, or fumbles. But Kirk Cousins, 20 of 33 yards, 208 yards, one touchdown, and no interceptions. Now, the Seahawks go to 8-5, and the Vikings, they fall to 6-1. The Seahawks are still in the playoff hunt. The Vikings right now are still in the playoff hunt, but they need to win their next game to really remain in the playoff hunt. And I just feel that this next one is going to be a critical win. And yeah, and I feel that that's what it's going to have to be for them. Now, I have to tip my hat off to Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll, because he's been known what he's doing with this team, and his team has really been really playing well for him, and I just feel this was just a heck of a night for the Seahawks and the Seahawks fans, and Russell Wilson was just on fire tonight. He was throwing pass after pass, and the players were just catching them. They were making it count, and boy were they. And I want to give credit to where credit is due, and that's to the Seahawks. I mean, you got to tip your hat to them. It was just their night. They just played well tonight. We'll have a great game for you Thursday night, the Chargers and Chiefs. And then the Browns will play a Sunday Night Football game on Saturday at 8:20 p.m. against the Denver Broncos. And then the Rams play the Eagles on Sunday Night Football at 8:20. And then next Monday night, we'll have another great game for you, the Saints and the Panthers. And the Panthers really need to win that one if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. So we're going to have to wait. We'll have to see what happens when they square off next Monday night. But tonight's game between the Steelers and the Seahawks and the Vikings, boy, I thought this was going to be close, but it ended up being a blowout, 21-7. I mean, they started out 3-0 Seattle, and Seattle was up 6-0 in the fourth quarter. That's when all the scoring started. It remained 3-0 through three quarters, and then the Seahawks scored a touchdown, and then the two-point conversion. It was 14-0, and then scored another touchdown on a Vikings interception, and then it was 21-0. And then the Vikings finally scored their one and only touchdown. It was 21-7, and that ended up being your final score. And they just all the Seahawks had to do in the final seconds was just take a knee a couple of times and just let the clock run out. And I mean, this was just not a good night for the Minnesota Vikings. Just struggled tonight, and Ryan O'Neal went out with an injury. And I mean, last year Minnesota was right in the heart of it in the playoffs last year, and they had a heck of a season. They got to the NFC Championship game, but did not make it to the Super Bowl. And I know they want to get back there to the AFC Championship game, but I don't know. I mean, they've got to really win these. I think not only that, with only 3 games left, they've got to win 2 of these 3 games to have a chance to qualify. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens, and just really just wait and see what I did not win the picks. I was 8-8, and my brother-in-law went 9-7. He won. He goes to 8-4-4, and I fell at 3-8-4 this season with the picks of the week. And we'll have more of that coming up on Sunday. at Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday, but also the Thursday night one too. And I just really feel this was just not a good night for the Vikings. But the Seahawks, it was just a heck of a game for them tonight, and I got to tip my hat to them. So, and it was a great game for them, and they had, and it was one of their players scored. I think they just had a remarkable night tonight, and they were just able to get in for 2 touchdowns and just really claim that lead and just blow out the Vikings tonight. So you got to give credit to where credit is due, and that's quarterback Russell Wilson. He just played well tonight, and I got to tell you, this really was a great game. It was a great game for the Seahawks, but just not so great for the Vikings. And I think the Vikings are going to have to regroup, and they're going to have to look at their next opponent, and they're going to have to really study their opponent hard. They're going to have to come up with a good strategy to try to win the next game, 2 out of 3 games, to really have a chance for the playoffs. And I feel that's what's just going to have to happen. They're going to have to do that. So this was just not a good night for the Vikings, but the Seahawks, wow. And one of the had I think 280 yards and scored one of those touchdowns, and they just really had a great game tonight. And it just was just one heck of a night for the Seahawks tonight. I just got to tip my hat to them. Well, that is going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football post-game show. I'll be back with a podcast tomorrow, but until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.